Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. I am focusing on decluttering your life. Essentially, this is just a video to a week-long group that I'm hosting on Facebook. So if you're catching this on the date that it was posted and you want to be a part of that group, shoot me a message. I'd love to have you in there. But basically, we're just going to start with 3 simple decluttering tips. I'm sure that if you've been a part of this Facebook group, you've already kind of read through my story, how I got to where I am. I've noticed that since I started decluttering my space this year, decluttering my life in general, I feel a lot more relaxed. That sense of clarity is there. I feel like I can wake up in the morning and really tackle my day and not feel so overwhelmed, just stressed, chaotic, and so I'm really hoping that I can just share what I've learned just between research that I've done, podcasts I've listened to, blogs that I've read this year, kind of collaborating all of that information, becoming an expert, if you will, on decluttering my life. I just really want to share that with you all. So here we are. Today we're going to start with tip number 1, which is really simple. The first 3 things that I want you to do today are very, very simple, okay? Number 1, I just want you to be aware. Notice your space. Where do you spend most of your time? Maybe you spend most of your time in an office. Maybe you spend most of your time in your car. Maybe in your at-home office. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom. You spend a lot of time in your living room. Wherever you spend most of your time, think about that space. How does it make you feel? Are there things everywhere that make you feel like you just constantly want to clean up? I know that was something that I struggled with. I never got anything done because everything around me would catch my attention and I just want to clean up. When you walk past the kitchen table and you see that piece of paper sitting there, your brain has to make the decision to either file that piece of paper or to not file that piece of paper. And either way, your brain is using up energy to make that decision. We don't want our brain to have to think any more than it already does. So think about the space you spend most of your time in. How does that space make you feel? I want you to take out a journal or your phone, just a piece of paper, and make a list of the spaces that you feel you spend most of your time in, and then out of those spaces, narrow it down to the ones that you feel like you really need to tackle first. Where do you spend, seriously, majority of your time? What spaces do you feel have the most disorganization, the most amount of clutter? Take those spaces and break it all the way down till you have one space. For me, that started with my bedroom. I feel like I can never fall asleep at night because my bedroom was a mess. Simple as that. It was a mess. And then I narrowed it down a little further, like, okay, what part of my bedroom specifically drives me insane? Is it just one corner? Is it my bed? Is it my vanity? Is it my closet? For me, it was most definitely my closet. I would wake up every morning in a chaotic mind state, just so overwhelmed, and there's clothes everywhere, jewelry everywhere, glasses everywhere, glasses cases everywhere. The memory boxes from when I was like 5 with the lids falling off and papers falling out from the top shelf. So for me, that was my closet. So pick that one space that you really want to tackle first. Write down how that space makes you feel. And then what I want you to do is write down how you would like that space to make you feel. For example, for me, my closet made me feel in a rush, overwhelmed, just in a frantic, very chaotic, unsure, not happy, not calm. I wanted my closet to make me feel organized, put together, at peace. So go ahead and make that list. I'm going to grab a sip of water. Now, a lot of people, this is going to be number 2. A lot of people say, you know, that person is so organized because they're a stay-at-home parent. They don't have a full-time job. They have more time to do those things. People make excuses for reasons why other people have a decluttered or organized life, have things that they want. They make those excuses for themselves by saying that other person has the extra time or the extra energy or whatever. First and foremost, that mentality, nip it in the butt. That needs to go out the window. You need to realize that this is your life. You are in control of this. And that person that might be a stay-at-home mom, maybe taking care of 4 kids, and you don't know, maybe she has laundry of her husband's to do and dishes overflowing. Maybe she has 100 things to do too, homework to help the kids with, lunches to pack, all that fun stuff. You don't know her life. So don't compare yourself to someone else. And recognize that clutter is causing chaos in your life, is causing mental fog, is causing, honestly, it's taking more of your time, because if you're anything like me, when you notice clutter or you notice something out of place, something's not in its proper place, your mind goes from getting ready for work to, let me pick up the 100 things that are around me that I see that are misplaced. Now I'm late to work. So recognize that clutter is not okay, that it's taking up time, it's taking away from your dreams, and honestly, the more responsibilities you have, even more important that you have less clutter, because it's going to make you feel better. Seriously, trust me. So the bigger your dreams, the bigger your responsibilities, the more that you have to do, make that even more of a reason to focus on decluttering your life, because it's what's good for you, not anyone else, for you. Recognize that. Take note of that now. Let me look at my notes here. Okay, number 3. Sorry, I have tons of notes for this group I'm running. I want to make sure that I can give you all the knowledge that I've absorbed over the past few months to make sure that you are really and truly decluttering your life for good, once and for all. I know I've tried this 100 times and it's finally sticking, so I want to make sure you follow the same steps that I did. So, number 3, you have to recognize, and this is kind of something that I do with every area of life now, after doing a little bit of personal development therapy, if you will, I've noticed a few things. Who you are truly does stem from how you were raised. Think about this. Silverware, for example. This is something, the way that we all organize our silverware is something that has been passed on generation after generation after generation. Your great-grandparents had their silverware in a drawer. That was in an organizer. Then guess what? Your parent or your grandparents adopted silverware in the drawer and an organizer. And then your parents adopted silverware in the drawer and the organizer. Okay, so that is an organizational habit that we have adopted generation after generation after generation. Something that most families, most people do. Just a really generic example. Now think about the things that you do that maybe your parents or your grandparents or your aunt, uncle, or your brother and sister, someone that your intermediate family, someone that you were raised around did. Think about this. For me, for example, I grew up with a kitchen table that had a mountain of mail on it. Always. Our house was pretty clean, but we always had mail on the table. So much so that we never even ate at the table. We ate on the living room floor and watched TV, or on the couch, or on the end table, whatever. We never sat at our table. There was always mail, and still to this day, you go to my mother's house, there will be mail on the table. That is a habit that I adopted. There is always, was, because I've created new habits, I've put new systems in place, but there was always mail on my kitchen table. I am proud to say that I have graduated from that habit, moved on, and I want to help you do the same. So you need to pinpoint the habits that you currently have set in place, the things that you do that cause yourself more stress, more clutter, more chaos. Notice those habits and realize where you picked those up from. Think about that person or those people that taught you that habit. Is that something that you want to adopt forever? Is that a lifestyle, their lifestyle? Is that a kind of lifestyle you want to live, to where every day when you walk into your kitchen you just feel so overwhelmed because you have a stack of bills looking at you in the face? Like, absolutely not. Not for me. So just figure out what habits that you've already got set in place. Where did they come from? Make that connection and realize that's not the life you want to live. So, 3 things. Recognize where the clutter is. Pick a space. Space you spend most of your time. What do you want that space to make you feel like? 2, recognize that clutter is ruling your life. It's draining your energy. It's adding chaos into your already chaotic enough life, your busy enough day. It's taking away your time. Recognize that clutter is not okay. And number 3, realize where you've picked up your already preset, poor, clutter, disorganized habits. Where did you learn those? And is that the kind of lifestyle that you want to live? Everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening, and stay tuned for the next video about decluttering your life.